Do you see what society looks like? Do you see the godless chaos that comes out when you kick Christ out, friends? This is the thing that we face.
Hey girls, it's Miss Fletcher. So before we go, I wanted to remind you of something that we do at St. Mary's that's so special and that I miss a lot. So I want to see if you can join in with me. We're going to sing This Little Light of Mine. Okay? Ready? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I know many of you aren't Catholic. I don't want to come out here and talk about Francis, but the reality is the shepherd, the biggest, the leader, the adult in the room, the spiritual moral authority he's supposed to be, has gone AWOL. He's gone nuts. Right? When he's seeing that, when we see that, we want to fall down on our knees and pray and beg God to intercede on behalf of our society. When Francis sees that, he writes an encyclical on climate change. Francis is a hippie pope who's trying to finish the revolution of the 1960s. In order to do that, he has to bury the Catholic Church. In order to do that, he has to crush the resurgence. We are the resurgence, the traditional Catholics who saw through that revolution. He's canceling rightful worship of Almighty God right now while he's tolerating this sort of thing. Catholic parish of St. Martin of Ilno, Efferketen, Switzerland. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. Here we see women pretending to be priests. They're speaking the words of consecration, consecrating the bread and wine at the altar. This is an absolute violation of the canon law, of canon 907 to be specific here. Take a little look at that. Now remember, as you watch this, he's approving this abomination while he's crushing the traditional Latin Mass. That's just happened with the Institute of Christ the King, for example, in Chicago. They were completely shut down. This is happening to many of the masses out in Arlington, Virginia right now. This isn't something hypothetical in the future. He's canceling those masses and he's letting these ones fly. Nice pride stole there, Father. You know? And again, this is going on all over the world, especially in Europe. And the Vatican is chiefly concerned with climate change. And the Vatican is shutting down Latin masses worldwide. We come out here every week trying to raise awareness of what's happening because it affects every man, woman, and child on the face of this earth. That is, that there's an evil spirit has infiltrated the Church of Jesus Christ, has infiltrated the Catholic Church. I'm not going to leave the church where I give you an example. People say, you should join the Orthodox. And I say, well, my Orthodox friends tell me that their church has already approved divorce, has already approved contraception, the things that we're terrified Francis is going to do in the future in the Catholic Church. So I don't see the Orthodox as an option if I ever in a million years ever would have thought of leaving my church. In other words, religion itself is under fire. We're not looking for some escape hatch. We're trying to raise awareness to the attack going on against Christ and his church all throughout the world. There is no bomb shelter for this. There is no place where you can hide out and everything's just fine. You got to stand up and confront it. And that's what we try to do here. Encourage people to stand up and confront it. Because today, apostate Catholics are running all over the place. They are running the world in a sense. The most powerful political positions in the world. Here's one of them.
MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love.
So there's your Catholic president. There's your fruit of Vatican II, telling the world that patriotic, God-fearing, family-oriented, pro-life defenders of the unborn are the biggest threat to our nation right now. Catholic. And 2 days after that talk, Joe the Catholic Biden did it again. He doubled down. Labor Day, Milwaukee, he says the extreme MAGA Republicans have chosen to go backwards, full of anger, violence, hate, and division. There you go again. Doesn't that sound like Francis? Backwards?
Sono tradizionali, sono indietristi, vanno indietro senza radici. L'indietrismo è un peccato. perché non va avanti con la Chiesa.
They're on the same team, friends. These two Catholic guys. Again, Biden declaring war on patriotic Americans. Pope Francis declaring war on traditional Catholics. Blessing and approving everything this diabolical idiot Biden and his friends in Davos are doing right now. In Philadelphia, when your commander-in-chief, when your president, when he stood before you like nothing anything anyone's ever seen before, he wasn't declaring war on political opponents, was he? He was declaring war on voters. He was declaring war on you. How long before you're going to start getting knocks on the door from the Gestapo trying to make sure you're not posing an even bigger threat to this country? They're already doing it, right? Dehumanize your opponents. That's what Team Davos is doing, and Joe Biden is at the top of that roster. Make your opponents no longer deserving of the protections of law because they're too much of a threat. That's what they're setting up for, friends. Make your opponents, make us, make 75 million American patriots, God-loving Americans, make them subhuman. Have we not seen this before? Isn't that exactly what Joseph Stalin did when they expelled God from their country? Isn't that what the communist Mao did? Isn't that what the sicko Adolf Hitler did? Of course. In fact, you have people out there right now who are Holocaust survivors, and they're attesting to this. They're giving witness, like, we've seen this before.
In May 2022, at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Klaus Schwab, the architect of the dystopian Great Reset, declared, and I quote him, "Let's be clear, the future is not just happening, the future is built by us, a powerful community here in this room. We have the means to impose the state of the world." Harari declares that there are too many useless people. Remember, the Nazi term was worthless eaters. This is the new eugenics. It is embraced by the most powerful global billionaire technocrats who gather in Davos. Big tech, big pharma, the financial oligarchs, academics, government leaders, and the military-industrial complex. These megalomaniacs have paved the road to another Holocaust.
It's happening all over again. And Joe, the Catholic Biden, and Pope Francis, the Catholic Pope, are all in on that World Economic Forum globalist agenda that she's talking about. Nancy Pelosi is a Catholic. Melinda Gates is a Catholic. Tony Fauci is a Catholic. Justin Trudeau, the little ferret, is a Catholic. Gavin Newsom is a Catholic. AOC is a Catholic. Antonio Guterres is a Catholic. Joe Biden is a Catholic. John Kerry is a Catholic. Jorge Mario Bergoglio is a Catholic. Behold the fruits, friends, of Vatican II. Traditional Catholicism is the only way out of here. It is the only way back to sanity. It is not about liturgical preference. It's about the salvation of our country and of our church and of our souls and of our children. It's the only way back to Almighty God. And that, friends, is the purpose of this show every week. I felt it was necessary to come out and explain once again what we're trying to do here. And that's what we're trying to do, to point the way back to God, to return to tradition,